A hero mom went hand to hand with a mountain lion to save her young child. We'll talk about that coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to another travel news episode. I'm your host, Robert Witham. I scour the news for stories of interest to travelers and those who love the great outdoors so you don't have to. If you're interested in videos featuring scenery from some of the best places that I find during my travels around the U.S., check out my other channel, Meanderings, here on YouTube. Link to that in the video description. Well, a hero mom from California is being credited with saving her child's life when a mountain lion attacked the child. A 5-year-old boy was playing in his front yard near Calabasas, California in Los Angeles County on Thursday, August 26, about 10:45 in the morning when he was attacked by a mountain lion. The boy's mother saw the attack and in turn attacked the mountain lion, striking it multiple times until the lion stopped the attack on her child. The boy suffered multiple injuries to his head, neck, and upper body during the encounter, and though these injuries are typical for mountain lion attacks, that they tend to go for the head and neck, the boy's parents immediately rushed him to a nearby hospital where he was treated for his injuries. As of 3 days later, the last update I've seen in the story, the child was still in the hospital in stable condition. California Department of Fish and Wildlife law enforcement officers immediately started an investigation upon learning of the attack. While visiting the family's home, a CDFW officer found a mountain lion crouched in a corner of the property. The lion was still acting aggressively at the time the officer arrived, so the officer shot and killed the lion. Or if you read the press release headline, it dispatched the lion. About 20 minutes after the mountain lion was killed, 2 other lions appeared on the property. One of these lions was a female that was radio collared. Well, since the mountain lion that attacked the boy did not have a radio collar, the lion that lion was left alone. It was not being aggressive. The lion without a collar was tranquilized and captured until they could figure out which lion was actually responsible for the attack. DNA and other testing confirmed that the lion that was already shot by the CDFW officer was the lion that had, in fact, attacked the child. CDFW coordinated with National Park Service to identify the collared mountain as P54, and P54 had birthed cubs in October 2020 and has no known history of human and wildlife conflicts. I'm wondering if these other 2 lions that were involved were the cubs that she birthed last year, but I didn't see any confirmation of that detail. The collared lion was not captured and has since vacated the neighborhood. The captured lion, after they determined it was not involved in the attack, was released to the nearest suitable habitat. So, a few thoughts, and then I'll jump into some suggestions from the National Park Service for dealing with mountain lions if you ever run into one. My thoughts, mountain lions are fearsome predators, but in my experience, they usually do not attack humans. There does, however, seem to be an increase in attacks on humans in recent years. Part of that's anecdotal. I've been seeing more in the news the past few years, but I've also heard wildlife biologists say that yes, indeed, it has in fact increased in recent years. There are likely several reasons for this increase. The first is housing development in wildland-urban interface areas. As people build more and more houses right on the edge of national forest land or other public lands or just undeveloped forests, where you have wildlife living and doing their thing, you're going to have a greater chance of conflicts. Another issue is habitat loss and climate changes. The heat and drought we've been seeing the past few years especially are driving wildlife into developed areas in search of food and water, where obviously conflicts occur. And a third factor here is the increase in people recreating in wilderness areas. As more and more people the past few years have been getting out into the backcountry, there's bound to be more conflicts between humans and other wildlife like mountain lions, bears, and so on. I have my own story from dealing with mountain lions. When my kids were little a number of years ago, they were all playing with some friends at a family friend's property. They were in the yard when one of them shouted about a mountain lion, and there was indeed a mountain lion, a young male, stalking across the lawn towards the kids. This house was, again, located right up against forest land. My friend grabbed a 45 and threw some lead in the direction of the lion, and it took off and never returned. But that was a really scary episode, and it illustrates that they can and do stalk people. Usually it's children and small-framed women who are at biggest risk. Biologists debate about what is the reasons for that exactly, but that's usually what happens. Well, the National Park Service does have some guidelines for dealing with mountain lions. If you encounter one, they note, although lion attacks are rare, they are possible, as is injury from any wild animal. Even so, the potential for being killed or injured by a mountain lion is quite low compared to many other natural hazards. They go on to note that there is far greater risk, for example, of being killed in an automobile accident with a deer than of being attacked by a mountain lion. So kind of gives you a perspective there that you probably got a better chance of hitting a deer on your way and being seriously injured or killed driving somewhere than you do of being attacked by a mountain lion. So it doesn't make it any less scary when you hear about it, but it's it's fortunately not super common. So some safety recommendations from the National Park Service include: do not hike alone, hiking groups, and supervise children. Again, children running alone on the trail are going to be at greater risk than adults. If you do see a mountain lion, National Park Service recommends stay calm, hold your ground or back away slowly, face the lion, and stand upright. Do not approach a lion. Never approach. We've been talking about this a few times recently with people approaching bears and moose and things, but don't approach a lion. You'd like to think they wouldn't need to say that, but apparently they do. So do not approach a lion. Never approach a mountain lion, especially one that is feeding or with kittens. Most mountain lions will try to avoid a confrontation, give them a way to escape. Do not run from a lion. Running may stimulate a mountain lion's instinct to chase. Instead, stand and face the animal, make eye contact. If you have small children with you, pick them up if possible so they don't panic and run. Although it may be awkward, pick them up without bending over or turning away from the mountain lion. Do not crouch down or bend over. Biologists surmise mountain lions don't recognize standing humans as prey. On the other hand, a person squatting or bending over may look like a four-legged prey animal. If you're in mountain lion habitat, avoid squatting, crouching, or bending over, even when picking up children. They go on to say that if the mountain lion moves in your direction or acts aggressively, do all you can to appear intimidating. Attempt to appear larger by raising your arms and opening your jacket. If you're wearing one, that's a common one with lions. If you got a jacket or a sweater or something, you can pull open, it makes you look bigger. We've all seen different wild animals do this to make themselves appear larger, and apparently it does work with lions. That's one of the common pieces of advice you'll hear from experts when you deal with lions is to try and make yourself look bigger. They also say wave your arms slowly and speak firmly in a loud voice. If looking bigger doesn't scare the mountain lion off, without crouching or turning your back, start throwing stones, branches, or whatever you can reach in its direction. That is, toward it but not directly at it. Aim for the ground in front of the lion. Don't throw things directly at it just yet. Think of these as warning shots. And if the mountain lion continues to move in your directions, then you may want to start throwing things at the lion. And the Park Service notes your safety is more important than the mountain lions, so you should feel free to continue to escalate the level of hostility to intimidate and scare off the mountain lion. If the mountain lion does attack you, they note fight back. They get some examples. A hiker in Southern California used a rock to fend off a mountain lion that was attacking his son. Others have fought back successfully with sticks, caps, jackets, garden tools, and even their bare hands. Since a mountain lion usually tries to bite the head or neck, try to remain standing and face the attacking animal. Also, if you have a backpack, try to position it to serve as body armor or a shield in front of you. So as National Park Service said, my experience as well, fortunately, mountain lion attacks are relatively rare. It's likely, I think, to be more of an issue in the future due to habitat losses and other problems like drought and heat and lack of water and food for what, not just for mountain lions, but for bears and other things in general. I've had multiple occasions when I discovered evidence of mountain lion activity in the wilderness while hiking or something, tracks, kill sites, etc. I've never had a problem other than the one incident in Montana many years ago that I mentioned earlier. But I will tell you, it'll make the hair stand up on the back of your neck and on your arms and everything when you discover that you're somewhere that a mountain lion has been very recently. That'll that will get your attention. Everybody ranks right up there with being in bear country and thinking you're about to meet a bear. That's an adrenaline rush that I don't relish. Well, don't forget, travelers, send me links or details for stories you think might be of interest to me. You can email them to robert.witham@gmail.com. Thank you to those who have already shared news and links. And if you're interested in the traveling lifestyle or becoming a nomad, you may want to check out my online course, Nomad Lifestyle 101, for all the information you need to be successful, all in one place, along with access to me for any questions or concerns you may have. I'll have a link to that in the video description below if you want to check it out. Thanks for joining me for this travel news episode, everyone.